Hello, my little Luxes. Welcome to another Charsie Chats. And I'm your host, cosplayer Charsie Lux. I almost said, and I am your cosplayer. And I am your host, cosplayer Charsie Lux. And once again, I am dressed up as my original character, my Winter Witch. It is that time of year again. It is time to break out that feeling of freezing and having my Winter Witch. And I brought it in, I've recorded my, this is going to seem scatterbrained, but you know what? I am learning to just, for especially my Charsie Chats, to just let myself go. Just go with the flow, let my weird self, my freak flag fly, and just kind of go with it. But this is the other problem, is I lose my train of thought and I trail off on things. But anyway, so I had done a movie review and I had done my scary story, but I'm recording my Charsie Chats because these are the easier ones for me to do, especially if I just don't have an actual plan and I just come on camera and say, hey, how's it going? Happy Tuesday. I am calling it Happy Trivium Tuesday, and it's my favorite band, so I do this thing where I sit and I listen to exclusively Trivium on Tuesdays. But anyway, I discovered while recording, and it hit me because last year I had Crystal, the love demon, for Valentine's Day. And I'm like, I have cosplayed my Winter Witch so many times now, but I don't think I've named her. At least I can't remember. I mean, I guess I could go through those old episodes, but I don't think I named her. And at first it hit me thinking like Willow, the Winter Witch. I'm like, no, Willow is spring and summer, makes me think of beautiful creeks in the forest. So I'm like, but I like the idea of keeping all the W's, because Winter Witch and then having a W name. The only thing that I am saying off limits is Whitney, because I had a school bully in school and her name was Whitney. So no. But I would love to get help with coming up with a Winter Witch name for my original character. Like I said, this is the 4th time that I have cosplayed this character. So let me know, give me ideas for this original character, and W names would definitely be most welcomed. And I'm gonna go down the line and figure out what I want to do. But yes, for January's theme, we are doing They Stir Below. And that my movie review, the first one that I'm doing, is The Devil Below. And then for my scary stories my father told me, I created an original ghost story myself, or an original scary story. I keep forgetting, we're not calling it ghost stories anymore, we're calling them scary stories. But anyway, so I had come up with an original scary story myself to go in line with the theme, and that ghost story is influenced by the movie review that I did for The Devil Below, and that The Devil Below is influenced around the urban legend of the Well to Hell. So there are going to be similar aspects to it. So I'm excited to get that scary story done and out. Obviously, I have to do all the editing. So yes, this is the 3rd recording that I'm doing. So I'm basing it off of how much energy I have and going. I'm actually really impressed with myself right now to do a movie review, to a scary story, and having 2 separate mindsets for both of them, to coming to this one where I'm like, what, I'm trying to get back to my energetic, bubbly, stupid self, as I put it, and that it's like I'm weird, and I've always been weird, and it's just been within the last few years, it's been slipping away. Obviously, I've talked in depth about everything, and those of you who are here for my life journey at this point, that you know and understand. But I'm doing so much better, and with the work and the growth that I've been doing, and just taking inventory of everything that's been happening in my life and taking accountability for things that had happened back in 2020 and from other points where it's like certain situations that I was blaming myself for, and then going through extensive therapy and that and finding out that I had no control over certain situations that had happened and that I need to figure out how to let it go. And there should be no surprise to anybody whatsoever that I create stories in my head of what if. And that is my biggest downfall. I always say my biggest blessing is that my memory and everything, it's a huge blessing to me because of the good things that happen in my life. But it also feels like a curse because I'm also remembering all the bad things that happen in my life. But since I'm a storyteller, I will always go down the scenario of what if? What if I had done this? What if I had done that? And then it just becomes a never-ending cycle, and when I'm staying on those cycles, it makes things so much worse. And like I had said, I want to say a couple videos ago. Yeah, I think it was a couple videos ago. But I had said that it had stemmed back from my father's death in 2015. And even from there, it was always the what if. Because unfortunately, when you lose somebody that you care and love for, you will always do a what if. What if I had noticed this? What if I had done that? Would it have prevented my father from getting sick? Would it have helped him in the long run? Would he have ended up in the hospital? But I'm reminding myself that my father was a very stubborn man. So I am a huge advocate for please take care of your health. My father was a diabetic, and he made the decision that he decided he was going to start diagnosing and medicating himself, and that he didn't need doctors anymore telling him what he needed to do, and stopped paying his medical insurance and all kinds of really bad decisions. And that no matter what I could have done in my what if situations, I could have begged and pleaded with him. He was a stubborn man, and unfortunately, my father had a way with words of not telling the truth. That if he wanted to keep something a secret, he would have a way of doing it. So I am learning through everything that I have to learn to let go. But without going too much into detail over, I'm proud of myself for the fact that I can finally talk about the situation without becoming a blubbering, emotional mess. Because for the longest time, I couldn't go into depth about my father's passing. And yes, it still hurts. It still sucks. When you lose a loved one, it sucks. And it doesn't technically ever heal. You just find ways to cope with it and to deal with it. So it's like, I love my dad, but unfortunately he was very stubborn and he made some really poor decisions in his life. And it cost him his life. So please, take care of your health. Do regular checkups. Take care of yourself. And it's one of those things, which is the same thing on my line, where I'm always saying mental and emotional health is just as important as physical health. And that physical health is extremely important. So please take care of yourself. And as my new motto has been, self-love is the best love you can give yourself. Love yourself. Take care of yourself. So, like I had ended last year, it was only a couple weeks ago, but I want to start 2024 being in better spirits, being in better mind. Yes, I am not going to be 100%. Yes, I'm going to have hard days. I am going to fail. I am not perfect. But I'm doing better and doing the best what is for me. And I'm learning boundaries. I'm learning my limits. I'm learning my triggers so that if certain things end up triggering me in a certain way, now at least I can recognize them and go, oh, okay, what is this and why is it getting to me? What about what this person is saying? Why does that hurt me? And especially if it's somebody who's not even trying to be offensive. I'm not talking about the trolls and the assholes that are online that are purposely saying cruel and mean things. I'm not talking about those. I mean, we're gonna be triggered by that kind of stuff no matter what, understandable. But by things that shouldn't get to me type of deal. Like somebody's just talking about their bad day and they're describing it, and then all of a sudden I realize that I'm worked up, I'm anxious, and then it will hit me and it'll be like, because I went through something similar. So that's what I want to be able to get to, is where these certain situations will no longer get to me or trigger panic attacks, anxiety, or even make my depression go back down. Because let's face it, depression is always going to be there for me. It doesn't just go away. You can work through it, you can fight through it, but it will always be an underlying thing that's there. But I want to learn to take my weaknesses and turn them into a strength, so that when somebody else is going through something similar, I want them to get to a point like where I'm discovering, where it's like, I don't want to get triggered by things. I want to be able to help others. Because if they've gone through something similar as me, or also in the case, like, to seek out help from people who have gone through something similar to me, who have worked through it and are okay now. So it's one of those weird conundrums where it's like, yes, I'm not there. It's still a lot of work to go. And it will probably always be there. I want to get to a point to where it will be safe for me to help others. Because I want to get to a point where hearing somebody else talking about their traumatic situation, that I hope to God that it doesn't trigger something in me, where I'm able to be supportive and to be a friend. So, as we always say, I can go into depth about, we can go so far into depth about dealing with mental health and dealing with anxiety, especially since I have social anxiety. I just recently learned that that has been my number one biggest enemy in my entire life. Because, you know, we just grow up saying, oh, I was a shy kid and this and that. And it's like, no, you literally grew up with social anxiety. And it was getting better when I got older in college, and you know, you learn how to work through things. But unfortunately, with quarantine, that social anxiety came back, and being out in crowds gives me the weirdest paranoia now that I had gotten rid of for the most part. And there was a time where it's like I could have cared less what anyone thought of me, and I don't know what it is about quarantine that brought it all back again. So now it's something to work on all over again. So like I said, it will always be a work in progress. But as long as I keep striving to do better and keep pushing myself forward, that's what matters most to me. And that I want it to be an inspiration for others as well, because I understand, I know that life sucks. But life also has so many wonderful moments in it. Like, life can be incredible. Yes, if I focus on the negatives, and there's a lot of bad shit going on in the world right now, and we on social media have everything bombarded on us. But I personally, especially for myself right now, want to focus on the good things happening and the good things in my life. Focus on the good things happening right now, because there are still very good people in this world, and I have made so many phenomenal, awesome friends right on social media where we can all collectively talk about our interests, and especially for our love for horror movies and that. I don't have a lot of friends in real life that love and appreciate horror movies, And I love talking about movies. I love being a storyteller. So being able to be a part of a community that loves and appreciates the same things that I do, it makes me feel amazing. And it's a wonderful feeling to be a part of a community where we're all supportive of one another. Especially when that a-hole will show up and the rest of the community will rally together to get rid of the terrible person that thinks that they can just come in and say whatever they want, but hey. But anyway, I just kind of wanted to do a quick update, like I said, talking about our theme for the stir below, and I'll have hopefully another movie review before the end of the month, maybe another extra one, because there were a few that I had talked about that I had wanted to, well, talk about, so. But anyway, thank you so much for joining me here on another Charsie Chats, and I would love for you to come and join me on my other social medias, so please come join me on my Twitter or Blue Sky for Charsie Lux with 3 X's, or on my Threads or Instagram for Charsie87. And if you would like to help support me just a little bit more here on my channels, please come become a member on my Patreon. And on the screen, you can see my other Patreon members, and thank you so much for joining me. And remember, I am the afterlife of the party, but I would love for you to come and join me in the afterlife of the party. And always remember to slay, subscribe, like, and always be yourself. And remember to love yourself, because self-love is the best love you can give yourself. Until next time, my little Luxes, I hope you have a Luxy Charms kind of day. Bye!